Okay, we're early, a bit early, just getting the lights together. So we're early. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. We are about 20 minutes early. We're not going to start yet. I'm waiting for someone to bring me some, email me some documents. But good evening, everyone. I know you don't want to hear the elevator music. You know the elevator music they play when you're waiting online, or waiting on hold. One second here. Interesting. Good evening. Let's get an audio check. If you can hear me, give me a one. If you can hear me, if you can hear me, give me a one real quickly. Okay, good. That's good. Yeah, share this video. Yeah, we're early. So I don't want to give too much right now. Okay, good. That's beautiful. 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 Hang in there, guys. Hang in there. I'm gonna put something on here real quick here. Okay, I guess we can I don't know if I want to put that on right now. How's everyone doing tonight? Everyone doing good? That's good. That's good. Yeah, it looks like this the latter part of this trial is moving at a rapid pace. And that's an understatement. I said 9 o'clock. I would be cheating if I started early. So I'm not going to do that. There are people coming on at 9. So and I actually got a flight. I got a flight, guys. Um, I got a late flight. But let's listen to some music. No, we won't do that. We won't do that. 15 minutes, guys. We'll be back.
Watching me way up there. Usual place at the top of the stairs. Wonder what you're thinking when you stop and stare. If it's what I'm thinking, then you should be scared of me, baby. It's criminal, criminal. Why you marking territory with just move? If you play your cards right, I'll be your alibi. Dangerous game you've been playing. Big talk for such a little man, ain't it? It's criminal, criminal. Wanna take me out? Let's see if you can now. Let's pretend you never told me. Never told me how bad you wanted me. Let's pretend you never paid for all of my drinks. And I knew what you were thinking when you did. Let's pretend we never met. Hey, baby, how about that? How about that? 'Cause I've been trying to forget. Yeah, 'cause you got you bad. Got you bad. And yeah, I know that I can't be her. Be her. But don't think I wanna be her. Me, time is ticking on your meter. Cause I'm not going to compete with the no, I won't compete with the no, no, no. Oh, compete with the no, no, no. Oh, so let's pretend we never went to bars, rubber shows in the bedroom. Let's pretend you never went in for that kiss. 'Cause I knew what you were thinking when you did. That's why I'm saying make up, make up, make up your fucking mind, boy. Why you gotta go waste my fucking time, boys? Wake up, wake up, wake up your fucking mind, boy. You don't get both of us at the same time. And I know that I can't be her. And I don't think I wanna meet her. The time is ticking on your meter. 'Cause I'm not going to compete with the no, I won't compete. 'Cause I know the love you need. You're only getting that from me, yeah. You either want me or you're leaving. 'Cause I'm not going to compete with the no, I won't compete with the no, no. Tell me what you want from me, boy. Tell me what you want. Stay a fucking lead, boy. Tell me what you want from me, boy. Can't get it from both of us, so I think I'm a lead, boy. I know that I can be her, and I don't think I wanna meet her. Time is ticking on your meter. 'Cause I'm not going to compete with. I won't compete 'cause I know the love you need. You're only getting that from me, baby. You either want me or you're leaving. 'Cause I'm not going to compete with them. No, I won't compete with them now, now, now. Be with them now, now, now. Be with them now, now, now.
Hey. Shout outs to my artist Morgan Rowley. Song is called Compete. And it looks like the compete with the prosecution and the defense is coming to a close. "12 minutes, guys. 12 minutes. I'm not gonna not gonna be long because I have a long evening. But 12 minutes. Who's out there? All right, yeah. Who we got out there? Good afternoon. Wow. I don't know where you at. Even if you're in LA, it's not afternoon. Okay, all right. What's going on, people? What's going on? 10 minutes, guys. I gotta be fair to those who expect me to start at 9 o'clock. Looks like this thing's gonna end relatively quick. All right, guys, we're not gonna do too much music tonight. We're gonna finish this up here. Hey guys, did you see that video we dropped today with the defense team walking to the court with the victory music on? What'd you think? Typically, this would be a countdown video. Um, the next one will be. Okay, for those who are in here waiting, uh, I want you guys to hit the notification button. I want you to definitely subscribe because we're coming down to the wire in this case, the USA versus R. Kelly. We're coming down the wire. We have two more, maybe three witnesses left, and this case is going to the jury this week. Um, some of you are nervous out there. Some of you probably would have speculated that the defense would have went longer, but if the defense believes the government hasn't made their case, there's no need to go any longer and drag this process out because jurors at this point may have already made up their minds. And I don't. If the defense was able to create that shadow of a doubt, then there may be one juror that decides that they can't vote for guilty, or all the jurors may decide they can't vote for a guilty verdict, or they may be some on the fence. It's the closing arguments, which is crucial. But it is 6 minutes, 6 more minutes. But yeah, it's coming down to the why. One of the things I just have to say that, and this is just general statement, there were a lot of people in Mr. Kelly's orbit. A lot of people that he's known over the years. There are people that he's worked with over the years. There are people that he's employed over the years. There's family members, and one of the things that I'm looking for is who are all those people? Where are all those people at this point in this at this late stage in the game? Where are those people at? Uh, his brother showed up. His brother's been there. He's there. He was there today. He's been coming back and forth, and I guess other close friends or associates. But what I want to see, and I think it's too late now. It's really too late for, the witnesses have been submitted. The judge is not letting anyone else in. Whatever witnesses that the defense have to put up, they're in already. 4 witnesses already, so that's 2 more left. And one of those witnesses is going to be a psychologist whose job is to counter what this government's witness, the psychologist, has stated. So I don't know if that's. I'm not the attorney. They make the call. They bring the witness on. Um, but these witnesses must knock it out the park. Because if they don't knock it out the park, the jury's going to feel like they may feel like they weren't prepared, um, or the jury may have made their mind up and think that this case should not even been a racketeering case. Don't know, but I know one thing: this case is going to a jury this this week, and and I don't know if the judge is going to sequester the jury during deliberations. I think they would sequester the jury. Yeah, they have to sequester the jury, meaning if the judge, after the closing arguments, if the judge gives the case to the jury, they need to be sequestered in a hotel. Not go home, watch TV, not go to the club, go to the movies, go to a restaurant. They need to be sequestered in a hotel room. And let's. Oh, we got 3 minutes. Yeah. Before I get too much into it, hold on. Okay, here we go, guys. We're about to start. 2 minutes. I kind of softly started, but we're going to have to go over everything I spoke about already, which wasn't too much. Okay, here we go. Okay. If I'm on time, I'm late. Remember that. If you're on time, you're late. So you get there early. So what I was just talking about is the closing arguments and the jury getting the case. These witnesses that the defense is going to put on, uh, they're not going to last. They're not going to last long on the stand. It wouldn't take. It won't take a whole day to get through these witnesses, and based on the court stopping early yesterday at 2 o'clock, and then today, that is an indication that this case is moving rapid. So what's going to happen is the witness is going to take the stand tomorrow, and they're going to be crossed by the prosecution, And then the jury instructions have already been. I don't know if anyone had opportunity to see the jury instructions, but not the jury instructions, but there was a draft. No one will see that until and no one gets a chance to see that until after the judge charged the jury, and charging the jury is basically giving them the instructions. Uh, the thing about juries going on deliberation on a Friday, from most cases I've covered, they if they have their mind made up, they're going to come back that same day because no one wants to go. They don't want to go on be sequestered if they can get through the. They're going to take the first vote, and then they're going to take a. The foreman is going to say, let's take a vote right now and see where they're at with the making the decision. And if they already have a unanimous vote, one way or the other, it's a done deal. It's either acquittal or a guilty verdict. But it's a lot to go through. If they came back that quick, that's scary. If the jury gets the case in the morning and they can work through the process all during out the day, um, I don't think they're going to come back. I don't think they're going to come back on the Friday. They may come back on a Saturday. Um, because in the back of their mind, they're thinking, well, if we can reach a verdict before Monday, and this is speculation, just based on juries I've seen come back on the getting the case on the Friday. They typically don't last long. They don't last long. I remember a case I covered in Sanford, Florida, uh, the case of George Zimmerman who killed Trayvon Martin. That case, they got the case on a Friday. It went to a Saturday, and it came back Saturday night. But they got the case on a Friday. It didn't last long. I remember just I said this case is probably gonna go to Monday. They came back Saturday night. So in this case, if they get the case on Friday morning, uh, I don't know. If it goes to the end of the day, it's probably going to be they're probably going to come back with a verdict on Saturday, and that's my guess. And if anyone who's been on a jury and they got a case on a Friday, they don't last long. And if the jury believes the case in chief, then they're going to come back with a verdict pretty quickly. But if they don't, and if somebody's just on the fence, it might be a mistrial. So yes, the stakes are pretty high in this case, and this case, the outcome of this case is going to set the tone for the other cases that Mr. Kelly has, the state case and the federal case in the other jurisdiction. So if he's found not guilty, it's going to make those cases maybe one of them. Well, I don't know. Oh no, it's a case out there that it's I can't say if it's strong or not. I would just say that it doesn't stop here. But because New York has the case, and there's a reason strategically why they probably took this case in New York first before they went to these other jurisdictions. And New York typically, especially in this particular court, Eastern District of New York, where they've tried some of the most notorious criminals in the East Coast. And if they get this case and they are able to reach a decision, then those other cases, if it's for example, if it's a guilty, those cases may not see, this judge, based on this judge, I don't know, this judge, I think if they find, and this is, you got to realize that there's going to be, if he's guilty, there's going to be a sentence. And they're probably going to be a very serious sentence. And then this judge, this is a big case. So they're going to send a message. And it's just the reality, if they get a guilty verdict. But if not, it may make the other cases weak. It may discourage um, others to proceed with a trial. Because there's a lot of money going into this. And Chicago has an opportunity, and I want to say Minneapolis is another jurisdiction. nothing's definite. And I'm gonna tell you something. I've never tried to only time I try to read a jury is when they ask for readbacks. When they, when a jury says, Your Honor, we have a question, uh, and they may ask for a readback in certain testimony, and that's why you got to sit in there. That's why it's so important to cover these trials inside, because depending upon the type of question they ask and what witness they hone in on, then it tells you what they're thinking. Say, for example, they say, "Well, can we listen to Sonia's testimony again, Yana? Can we see the transcripts on that testimony, or can we see the transcript on Geronda's testimony, or let's something Holly said." A jury may say something Holly said in her testimony. Can we get that read back? And the judge, and they may ask, can they see the evidence? And well, the judge allows certain evidence all the evidence go back to the room with the exception probably of the audio recordings, but a lot of the exhibits will go back to the jury, back in the I believe it goes back into the jury, but it's it's a lot for them to sort out. It's a lot for them to sort out. And if they have doubts at any one of the witnesses, if they believe someone was just outright lying, and they go by based on their conscience, they say this person was lying. They you know they're not gonna convict this guy. They're not gonna convict him. If one witness says or one juror says, "Hey, something about this witness testimony, I just don't feel it doesn't feel right." You got 12. All you need is one to say, "No, no matter what you say, I can't convict him on this." So depending upon what the closing argument, we're going to go over the closing arguments as well. We're going to talk about the prosecution and the defense closing arguments. And I would think that since for the defense, since Nicole Blank Becker did the opening, she's likely going to do the closing. I don't see Canick doing the closing, and that would be the same thing with the prosecution. Whoever did the opening will likely do the closing, because it's like an intro and an outro. We said we were going to prove this, and we're going to prove this, and we proved this. And this is the prosecution. And the defense is going to come back and say, well, they said they were going to prove this, but that didn't happen. And you see, they brought this witness in, and it actually wasn't what they said the witness was going to testify to. So this is going to be really interesting. These closing arguments, and everyone that has watched this trial from either a spectator or the media is going to really be watching it intensely, and seeing whether or not the state has made their case. Let's also talk about Mr. Kelly not testifying. I would think it would be a very bad idea for him to testify in this case. I think it would be suicide for him to testify in this case, for a number of reasons. Once he gets on that stand to testify in his defense, they're going to bring up everything that they can do to show that they're going to, whatever witness testified to something, they're going to ask him about that. This witness said that you did this to him. Can you talk about this? Not even can you talk about it. Did you do this to this witness? And he says no. Then the jury's going to see the reaction, and then they're going to see whether or not how he handles this. And he didn't do too well with the interview with Gayle King. And if he loses his cool, because he's had a pretty cool and calm demeanor during the trial, but if he gets on the stand, and I said this I tweeted this out, these prosecutors are going to eat him alive. And I don't think any competent attorney would tell him to take a chance and testify. So yeah, that's why I don't see him. And the defense said they don't think he's going to testify. Well, no, don't think he's not going to testify. If he has to testify, that means they didn't do their job. If if R. Kelly has to get on the stand and testify, that means they didn't do their job, and they didn't. If they said, "Well, listen, we did everything we had to do that we could do," but I think to help your case, you need to get on the stand. He's done. Okay, yeah, uh, yeah, these last couple of days is going to be real interesting. We're going to be in. We anticipated being here for another 2 weeks, but it looks like we're going to be packing our bags up and heading back to Atlanta sooner than we think. There's going to be, no matter which way this case goes, there's going to be a press conference outside, and the lawyers are going to speak, and they're going to talk about the outcome of the case. The judge will not speak on this case. Federal judges typically don't. They rarely do any type. They won't talk about this case because if he's found guilty, then if the judge made any comments after this, the verdict comes back, I mean, he has the right to appeal it, and I'm sure he will appeal. Oh my God, I saw that. Someone said, "I'm not going to repeat that." That's funny. Uh, that's funny. Well, these lawyers, it's the chief or the head of the prosecution team. Uh, she has a lot of experience in giving closing arguments. She's convicted mob bosses. Um, and Nicole, Nicole, or Nicole probably she's gonna. I mean, someone said if Nicole do the closing, Kels may be convicted. That's just so that's mean. That's mean. I mean, Nicole has a background in dealing with sex crimes. She's done closings. She was a prosecutor. Um, and I would think that she would point out the weaknesses in the case, and they she will point out uh, the uh, the the contradictions each witness testified to. And I think she should be the one to do the closing. This is a case involving women, and I don't know, and there are more women on this jury than men, and I think she needs to make the connection with the jury. Uh, Canick's style is good with the witnesses, but I don't know how his style would be conveying, that to the jury. Um, so we're going to see. This is a lot's on, for the lawyers, for Mr. Kelly, obviously, but for the lawyers, a lot's on the line here. So we really have to see how this thing goes. Someone said if a verdict comes back quick. If a verdict comes back quick in this type of case, I have to say they found him guilty. If they go back and come back in within 2 hours, no readbacks, they found him guilty. And that's typically how juries go. But if we're sitting there and we get to 5 o'clock, the jury gets the case at 10 in the morning, and we there to 4 o'clock, that means they're going through testimony. And if they don't reach a decision on Friday, then someone's a holdout, or several people are holdout, and that means there'll be a mistrial, unless the Judge Ann Donnelly, comes back and say, "Listen, I'm not giving this. This is not going to be a mistrial. I want you to go back in there and look at the areas that you have issues with, and see if you can work those areas out." She can't tell them they got to make a decision on, she can't say, "Listen, you got to vote guilty on this or not guilty," but she will tell them that we're not doing the mystery trial right now. We want you to go back in there. And they say, "Your Honor, well, we still can't reach it." I've seen juries literally tell judges 2 or 3 times, "We can't reach a verdict, Your Honor. We can't reach it." And the judge said, "Go back in there. What other evidence do you need for us to read back? So I think this may be the case if if the jury can't reach a verdict right away and they have questions or it's a mistrial. Uh, they're gonna, this particular judge, she seems more friendly to the prosecution. She's not gonna let a mistrial come out this case. It's been over 20 something days, a lot of resources. So I doubt very seriously she's gonna let them a mistrial on the first shot. It's not gonna happen. I'm gonna read a few questions. Read a few questions let's see here. I'm gonna pull one or two questions out of here. Let's see here. I want to pick out of here. Hey, that's what Tara Scott said. Most of the time, they've already made their mind up when they come back. Absolutely, that's what I just said. They made their mind up. They come back real quick. I don't see this jury coming back quick for this trial. It's R. Kelly, uh, international superstar. Well, I don't know if he still has a superstar status now, but they're not going to come back real quick on this case in quick like 2 hours. If they did, I would be surprised. But if they did, that means they had him convicted already, and they might have seen the documentary. I don't know. CEO Duns asks, is it beyond a reasonable doubt or is it jury based? Is it beyond reasonable doubt, jury based? Well, the jury has to reasonable doubt, shadow of a doubt. The jury has to jury has to decide whether or not the prosecutors made the case. They can, if they have a shadow of a doubt, then like I said, that can end up in a mistrial. I don't think all the jurors are going to say Mr. Kelly is. I don't know. Again, I don't want to, because we can't see the jury. The thing is, if we were able to see the jury, we can kind of gauge whether or not their reactions to certain testimony made them feel like, hey, we can convicting this guy. That the disadvantage we have there is we don't see the jury. The jury's typically they're sitting in the gallery, so you really can't see the jury. So only ones who have the advantage of seeing the jury is Mr. Kelly, his legal team, the prosecution, and the judge, and the witness is testifying. Someone Pretty Pink said Nicole did not do well with the opening statement. She was all over the place. She should not be doing the closing. If Nicole doesn't do this closing, that's going to be a problem because the jury is expecting the person who did the opening does the closing. And if they switch up someone else doing the closing, they are going to see that they have problems with this his defense and this whole team. So she has to knock the closing out the park. Oh yeah, the panel has to be sequestered. Someone said that they think the panel, yeah, they had to be sequestered. No way if they had to go home on a serious verdict, a trial, a decision like this, no way. I mean, no way. Especially with all the media coverage, yeah, they have to be sequestered. Okay, next question. Uh, no, someone Corey Simmons said judge can't stop a jury mistrial. Untrue. The judge has to call a mistrial. The jury doesn't decide a mistrial. The judge has to call a mistrial. So all the jury's telling the judge, Your Honor, we can't reach a unanimous decision. Then the judge declares a mistrial. So, yeah, the jury doesn't decide whether or not it's a mistrial. The course in which the way they reached it, they made their votes. If it's not unanimous, then Yeah, the judge had to say, okay, after a few attempts, okay, I declare mistrial. But she's not going to. This judge, she's not going to declare mistrial the first time, the first shot. Let's see what we got here. Someone said Debowski gun. Is that the same Debowski who was at the courthouse? I don't know. Was that the same Debowski at the courthouse? Oh, I don't know. Wonder what the verdict would be if it had national press. Newsflash, it has national press. I don't understand that question, but it has national press. And if you're not if you've been sleeping under a rock, it has national press. And if that's Debowski, you have national press. Okay. Level up. Okay, what do we have? Let's see. What do we have here? Okay. This is a long. I'm not gonna read. That's too long. Come on. Let's give me some concise questions here. Okay, guys, hold on. I'm not gonna. Someone asked me, "What is my prediction?" I'm not gonna call it. I'm gonna tell you. I tell you what I will do. The minute the verdict comes in, I'm gonna tweet it out. The minute the verdict comes in, I'm gonna tweet it out. But I'm not gonna call it. I'm reading a few questions. I'm pulling another question out of you. Someone said, Jennifer Taylor said, I anticipated more witnesses. Taylor, why did you anticipate more witnesses? You believe the prosecution made the case or didn't make the case? Because sometimes you don't need a bunch of witnesses. If the defense believes that they didn't make the case, then bring in a bunch of witnesses um, to counter everything other witnesses said. I don't know. I would say that I was a bit surprised about the last the first two witnesses. And that would be Danae and that would be Hood. Um, I was a little surprised about those two witnesses coming in opening for the defense. Uh, yeah, with all these people that has been in Mr. Kelly's orbit, these are only two witnesses you can you. Let me. I don't want to. Anyway, I would have liked to seen uh, Aaliyah's mother come in, Barry Hankerson come in, um, maybe Sparkle, Joycelyn, and that's going to be a big question. Why didn't Joycelyn show up? I would have loved to see her showing up because now, because she didn't show up, and she was very close to Azriel Clary, they're going to be they're going to be. I think Azriel's testimony is probably going to sit strong with the jury. I think that her testimony is going to sit strong with the jury, and depending upon what they believe, it's like pretty graphic stuff there. Um, I don't think they're going to take. I don't think Faith Rogers' testimony is going to um, hurt the defense. But I think Azrael Clary's testimony might be a problem for the defense. I can say that. But as far as me guessing the outcome, we'll know if the judge polled the jury. Well, if it's a no, if it's an acquittal, don't need to. I mean, they could poll the jury even after that. But definitely, media would like to talk to the jury, but the media won't get an opportunity to talk to the jury because they're not coming through the front door, and most of them probably don't want to talk to the media. While they're in the case of Zimmerman's case, there was a juror that decided they brought the jury. I remember this was late night, probably about 9, 10 o'clock. The jury stayed there. Uh, they found him not guilty, and Mark O'Mara wanted to. That was Zimmerman's attorney wanted to poll the jury and ask them questions, and I remember there was also the family of Trayvon there, and they were just upset. You know, that was a hard trial. That was a pretty rough trial to cover. But yeah, you want to poll the jury just to, and lawyers like to poll the jury to see, um, uh, what what they could have done differently, or sometimes the judges just excuse them, let them go. But I don't know. This is interesting how this will go. Let's see here. I'm reading. Let's see. That's a good question, Veronica. Do I think the jury have seen R. Kelly supporters after hearing the case? Well, I don't know if that's a good question. Rephrase your question. Rephrase your question. Now, I don't. That's an ambiguous question. Rephrase it. And I'm gonna read it back. Let's see here. Lisa Jones said Geronda Pace's testimony is going to hurt. Um, yeah, yeah, maybe that's a possibility, but that you won't know until you poll the jury. And I think that the lawyers should, try to, find. I mean, they're, God, other cases out there. No matter what happens in this case, the other cases out there. So if they poll the jury and someone says, or it is a consistent tone with the jurors and say, well, this we heard this, and this is why we felt that we had to go this direction. That also signals the prosecutors in other jurisdictions where they need to hone in on their case and what emphasis they need to put on their case. Because it's almost like, okay, this jury found him guilty because of this type of testimony. And then the other jurisdictions will probably say, the prosecutors in the other jurisdictions will probably say, well, we saw how we got a conviction in this case. Perhaps we can use similar strategies. Or if it's an acquittal, they may not even go the distance. I don't know. But this they're putting a full court press on different jurisdictions on Mr. Kelly. Okay, someone mentioned Cass Jones. She's not testifying. She's not on the defense witness list. I did see a tweet where she said, people be in New York uh, this week. I don't know if that was just for clout, but I don't know why she said that because she's not on the witness list. Um, and sometimes people will inject themselves without injecting themselves. She's not a witness, so I don't know why she even said that. But I saw it. Yeah. If you tweet, I'll be in New York. I'm a witness. You're probably not a witness. Okay, what else we got here? Right. Lisa Jones says, Jennifer, it doesn't matter about her fake ID. She was underage. And then here, okay, let me give you an example. In Florida, it is not a defense if someone lies about their age in certain sex crimes. There's no defense if someone lied about their age. So you have to know the jurisdiction you're in, but having a fake ID is not a defense to uh, it's not a defense. So so I don't again should I mean the jury if the judge let the jury hear the evidence and they may say like hey she showed him a fake ID. Should he had known? That's a call that the jury had to make. Well, someone Candy Kane said it's crazy how much evidence we've pieced together on the internet. It's a shame that defenders doesn't have that to show. Well, they have a thing called rule of evidence. What you guys put together on the internet is likely not admissible in a trial. You know, they have rules, federal rules of admissibility in certain type of evidence. What you think should come in may not come in because it may violate someone's right. It may not the way the person obtained the evidence. I mean, it sounds good. There's a lot of internet detectives out here, but once they have these pretrial hearings, they're going to decide what evidence comes in, and it's going to be based on uh, a number of things. So yeah, that's why they have the pretrial hearings to see whether or not this evidence can come in, or this evidence should not come in. And that's where lawyers go back and forth, and they argue to the judge. We need to get this in because this was on a documentary, and she said it. She said this on a documentary, and we need to get in here on the witness stand, Your Honor, because she said it on a documentary, and we want to be able to impeach her based on what she said. And then the other side may counter, Your Honor, that's entertainment. I mean, just again, just because it sounds good for it necessarily not going to be getting into a trial. Okay, but Geronda's ex-friend. Okay, all right, okay. I don't believe so. Did Kiona testify? I don't believe so. As far as I know, Joycelyn is not testifying. Now she may just decide to run in the courtroom the last minute and throw herself. John, I want to testify, but I don't see that happening. The marshals will stop her before she gets through the door. Someone said public hanging of another black man. You know something? So I asked a question earlier today. I asked a question with all the friends and artists that R. Kelly collaborated with. Do you think that any of these celebrities would come in to testify as a character witness? And none of them have stepped up and said, I'm coming to testify. None of them. They're not on the witness list. And someone wondered, like, wow. Well, they don't want to be associated with this type of crime. This alleged crime. They don't want to be associated with it. So they're not going to put their name to, I mean, industry friends and real friends are different. These were industry friends, most of them. Real friends, or even family member didn't want to come in and testify. I mean, look at R. Kelly's brother didn't come in and testify. But he did a video. He did some very damning. We interviewed him. I interviewed him, but he said some very damning things to about his brother, and can't see him coming in to say anything on the witness stand because the prosecutor's gonna they're gonna uh, no, that would have been awful. But he's outside the court supporting his brother now. But the interview he did was pretty damning. I mean, I don't know. Someone said ironically he regrets it. Hmm. I don't know. You do an interview. Um, what was the point of doing the interview if you regret it? Saying the things you said about them. Because were they true or were they not true? And the problem with the internet and people having these big platforms, they get on these platforms and sometimes they embellish on stories so they can elevate their careers or get some type of celebrity. For example, I was in the clubhouse room watching this whole debacle going on with uh, Karen Civil and all the people chiming in, and 8,000 people in the room, and everyone's talking, they're attacking her, they saying this, they saying that, but none of them even know her. They really don't know her. There are a few people that might know her, but the point is, there were so many people in that room, and mind you, I didn't say anything. I just listened, not too long. But the problem when someone has such a big platform, they're able to get people to come on there and they don't have to go through the same vetting process that you would as a witness on a jury trial. You're not giving someone a polygraph before they become a guest on your show. And give you an example. If you remember the testimony of Hallie Calhoun, where she said that the things she said uh, on the interview, this was an interview she did with Isaac Hayes' show. He's the son of the legendary Isaac Hayes, and she was on his show, and she said all these kind of things about R. Kelly. But when she got on the stand to testify, she said the opposite. And when asked by the defense, isn't it a fact you said all these things nice about R. Kelly? And she pretty much said that she didn't want to throw him under the bus on the radio show. But you threw him under the bus on the witness stand. You see what I'm saying? So when you get on these big platforms, I mean, you really don't. I mean, there's a lawsuit now. I'm not gonna go into too much into that, but someone got on another blogger's channel and made all these claims about a well known, a famous rapper. But the person who was making these claims did not vet the person or might not even be concerned about vetting the person before they put them on the platform. As a result, it led to a civil lawsuit because apparently the things the person said was not true. So when you're giving people you give them an opportunity to talk on these platforms, and you'll see after this trial is over with, there are people going to come out the woodwork and they want to say things, they want to talk, and they want to provide more context to the trial, and but they didn't come to the court and talk about it. But they get on a television show, they'll get on a YouTube channel, and they're going to have a lot to say after this trial is over with. And I would just say, listen to the people who are coming out and they talking and they writing books and they doing a whole bunch of other stuff and see how that See, even if for the prosecution, the defense or the prosecution, people come out and say, "Well, I knew this about him. I knew this about him. Oh, I knew this about him." Um, but they say it after the trial, or I don't know. Anyway, like I said, you can't come on that witness stand and tell you the same story. Uh, I'm not really interested in hearing it afterwards. Right, I agree with you. NEX. Okay, what else? Let's see. What else we got here? Okay. Whatever whatever Carrie has said he's done, that's something he has to live with that. And again, I don't know if what he said was true or not, but he did say it. And I will say that the person who interviewed him, she didn't put the words in his mouth. He said it. He said it, and he said it with conviction. So the defense wasn't calling him to the stand, and he would have been a hostile witness for the prosecution, considering he's having to change of heart of what he said. So yeah. Cam 10 said, with all the media attention and TV interviews, I feel that potentially hurt R. Kelly's case, and he will not receive a fair trial. Most people possibly already decided he's guilty. Yeah, that documentary had big numbers. It had big numbers. It had big numbers. And it was trending on social media afterwards. And it won an Emmy. So I know that I believe that some of those jurors might have seen that documentary. Yeah. Well, so Nia said he's been the laughing stock of the music industry for 15 plus years. Uh I would say I would say that yeah, some people weren't really messing with Kels. Jay-Z one of them, Damon Dash another one. Um no, yeah, I would say that the people had issues with him. Um, you know, and that might be a reason why they didn't show up either. So I don't know. Okay, guys, tomorrow is a long day, and I'm sure I don't want to be in the defense's shoes right now as they strategize on the or the prosecution as they strategize on their closing arguments. But I'm sure they're up working right now. They're up working right now. Well, I think I would hope the defense is up working. Um, but yeah. Oh, by the way, hit the Cash App. Go ahead. Go ahead. Hit the Cash App. You know what it is. It's right there. Or is it Hip Hop Inquirer? If hip hop. Tomorrow, if you don't see me on Twitter or you don't see me on YouTube or Instagram, you know why I didn't show up? Because you didn't hit the Cash App. Guys, I'll be out there. Don't worry. I'll be there. All right. I'm not gonna read that comment. Oh my God, what are you trying to do here? Any other questions, guys? Because I think we've been on long enough. Oh, we've been on an hour. Oh my goodness. Any other questions? Anybody? One last one. One last one. Let's see what we got here. What's this question here? Okay. It's not over till the fat lady sings. It's not over yet. Uh, hmm. Okay. Oh yeah, I heard that Carrie wrote a song about his brother. We're doing too much. Oh man. I'm well I did hear him say that his brother st- uh, stalled his career. Thank you, Trina. I wish I could shout you out. Well, I'm shouting you out. Hey, Trina, thank you for the cash out. That was it came. Trina's the only. Listen, let me tell you something. I'm gonna do a room with just me and Trina. That's it. I'm gonna pull Trina. I'll find Trina. We're just gonna do a room and talk about this case. And all you there are commenting, and you're not hitting the cash app. Hip Hop Inquirer. You're not gonna be invited to the party. You're not gonna be invited. It's just gonna be me and Trina just talking about the case. All you people commenting, I'm reading questions, but hold on. A false alarm. Anyway, thank you, Trina, for the cash app. Um, let's see here. What else do we have here? Do I need to read any other questions real quick? Shout out to Attorney Gerald Griggs. I mean, I'm gonna tell you about this brother. I'm gonna tell you about this brother. This brother fights for the rights of people of color, and what I'm telling you, he's one of the most active civil rights attorneys in Atlanta. And I'll tell you, there's a trial coming up in South Georgia involving the death of Ahmaud Arbery. I know he'll be out there. Their trial's October 18th. I will be covering that trial, as a matter of fact. I actually went to the crime scene, and this is why I say it's so important. I'm gonna say a few more things before I go. It's so important if you're if you're a YouTuber and you really want to get original content, that's the key, original content. You got to go and do the work. There are a lot of people, and I said this the other day, there are a lot of people probably going to take the video, put it on their channel, try to monetize it. And what I said was, yeah, I'm probably going to flag your page. You know why? Because if you're watching this, then chances are, if you decide to use it, you're going to make money off of it. All you got to do is shoot me an email. Shoot an email. Make a request. Do it the right way, because we actually, like the reporters who aren't being paid by big corporations to tell a story. It's cost us. You wouldn't imagine. I would just say, for me covering this case alone, I've spent thousands of my own money. Thousands. I've traveled from Atlanta to New York. Hotels, car rental, food, and I like to eat. I don't look like it, because I work out, but it costs. So when I provide, in my case, I can't speak for anyone else. When I provide content, it's original content. When we carry these cameras, you see if I put you see a $10,000 lens, I had to work to get that lens so I can provide that footage. So don't be shy about making a donation. Oh, he doesn't need it. But guess what? With that type of mindset, you're going to be getting your content from someone else that may not necessarily tell the story the way it should be told. So those who think, hey, we shouldn't support him because, go to your favorite YouTube channel, and I promise you, they have to invest into your favorite YouTube channel. and there's some big ones out there. They started off, and I don't do YouTube videos, but I I know YouTube is a platform where you can get the information out there as well. I enjoy Twitter because I can, I can I can write, a micro piece of the story and put it out there. But it requires you to, like, to get the story, you have to go out there and get the story, so you guys can tell the story, or regurgitate the story, or share the story. Uh, so yeah, just support the people that are actually doing the work more than supporting people who are still in the work and not giving no credit, and just, cyber thievery. But yeah, oh my goodness. Listen, listen, listen. I'll just say this: Attorney Griggs is an attorney. He's hired. He's hired to do a job for his client. He's a good brother. Don't be bashing him. He's an attorney. If you need an attorney, and you hire your attorney, and someone's bashing your attorney because you hired your attorney to get the job done, that's his job. Whatever it is, him and I will go back and have disagreements. And he'll tell you we'll have disagreements on different things, but I respect what he does because I know he cares about the people. I'm a journalist. If I see something and I see something that doesn't make sense, I'm going to speak on it. And he may not necessarily agree with what I see, or I might not necessarily agree with what he sees, but I have respect for him. And so, don't come and disrespecting people on the channel. Disrespect their job. They have a job to do, and uh, and that's what it is. Just show respect to people. That's all. Don't go bashing my man. Really. What else we got here? I'm not listening. I'm not going there. I see what I'm not going there. I'm not touching that. Boy, these YouTube streets get vicious. You guys are vicious, man. Come on, be nice, man. Be nice. Don't be so vicious. Don't be so vicious. Anyway, thank you guys for coming in. We're gonna tomorrow. Oh my goodness. Gavel to gavel, gavel to gavel. Um, yeah, this is a big. Trust me, all those celebrities that didn't show up, they're watching this trial. They're watching this trial because a lot of them have flown people into one place or another. Fly them in from Vegas, from New York to Vegas. You know. But there's a lesson here. You check those IDs before you start flying people around the country, and maybe I mean, hey, that's another conversation for another video. But it happens. You know, it happens. Anyway, speak facts. What is it, oxymoron? Who works for the savages? I don't work for the savages. And Cash is one of your. Cash is not a reporter. What are you talking about? This is how rumors get started. Speak facts. You about to get blocked. You start making up. Now I ain't gonna block you. Speak facts, because maybe you will decide you want to speak facts. Because right now you speak in fiction. Debosky, are you the one? I'm gonna check Debosky. Were you the one that had that video that I didn't release? Be nice, Debosky. Listen, my Cash App is um, Hip Hop Inquirer. $ Hip Hop Inquirer. Yes. Oh, Debosky. Brother, you know I'm not gonna listen. I'm not gonna drop that video. You weren't even part of it. Listen, I don't know how that stuff was kind of weird, Debosky. We're not putting that video out. We don't know. The only reason I had the camera out because I saw everybody gathering around. It was like people hovering over the front of that door. But now we're not putting that video out. They didn't even tweet it out, my brother. You're not part of this story. I hope that thing got resolved. Um, yeah, I hope it got resolved um, in the most favorable fashion. Speak facts. Come on, man. You're not speaking facts. You're making stuff up now. Come on. Now, Cash did do I think she hosted a red carpet many years ago. Because she was Cash was the she was the editor in chief for another publication, but she did she's a fashion stylist, so we have correspondents that specialize in areas of the expertise. She's a fashion stylist, so she was covering one of the red carpets years ago, but she doesn't work for me. She was a special correspondent. Um, if you did your research, you would know that. You just out here trolling right now, by the way. Well, Veronica, uh, I'm gonna type it right here, Veronica, for you. Watch this. I'm gonna do this right here. Once I get these moderators, here we go. Type it right here, right there. Actually, right there. Gemini Don. I hear you, my brother. I hear you. It's funny. People get they're in a safe zone. They're behind the keyboard. They can say and do whatever they want, and it's cool. It's cool. Speak fact, you can't even spell him inquire, man. Get out of here. So you work. You know something? If okay, Gemini Don, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna make you one, Gemini. Nia X, hit the cash app, Nia. Hit the cash app, Nia. Let's see. I see you. I see you over there. Come on, Nia. Okay, I'm not guys. This is entertaining, but I have a job to do. I appreciate you guys coming in. See you tomorrow. Getting late. I'm not going to. I might say something at the. You know what I'm going to do? I'll tell you what I'm going to do. After I listen to the closing arguments, I'm going to give you my opinion, my honest opinion. I've seen a lot of closing arguments by some of the most skilled attorneys in the country. And when I say skilled attorneys, I've seen some really skilled attorneys. Um, William Kunstler, Bill Kunstler, do a Google search. William Kunstler was one of my favorite attorneys to watch uh, do his thing. And when I say he was William Kunstler, the rest, R.I.P., but he was one of the best attorneys. And I actually ran into Ron Kuby at this federal courthouse that I'm covering, who co-counsel with Bill Kunstler in the case of Larry Davis. And look up Larry Davis, a very powerful defense team. And then Johnny Cochran and Ben Brothman, very skilled attorneys in New York. Well, Johnny was in, he had an office in Atlanta, but he was also out of California. But I watched some skilled attorneys, so a lot of them, and great ones in Atlanta as well. But I will tell you, the closing, I live for closings because that's the last thing the jury hears when they go back into that delivery room. You know, when they go back into that jury box, excuse me, in the jury room. So I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be honest with you. If whoever has a good closing, I'm gonna tell you who had the good closing. I'm gonna tell you why. Mm. Thanks for the super chats. Let's see here. Uh, let's see who gave that super chat. Let's see here. Anything for cloud. Thank you. Appreciate you. Uh, Nia X. $5. R. Kelly guilty. I got to read it. She said it. Nia, you're something else, Nia. Okay. What else I got? Okay. What else I got? Come on. This trial's been really hard to cover, guys. I want to tell you. I'll tell you why. Um, having daughters. I listen in intensely on all the evidence, and I let's just say that certain situations that some of these young ladies found themselves in, my daughter's been trained not to be put themselves in certain situations. I'll just say that. Um, yeah, yeah, that covering this trial. I don't think people can sit in a trial like this. Literally sit in a trial like this and not be uh, affected one way or the other by listening to certain things. I would just say that. Okay, guys. Yes, Veronica. That's it, Veronica. Veronica Tubins. You guys are just come on. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Be nice. Okay, let me see if I can do something here. Let me do this real quick. Uh, oh, I just put someone in a timeout. Oh wow, I just put someone in a timeout. Guess who I put in a timeout? Whoever supports R. Kelly, Nia X says, whoever supports R. Kelly doesn't have any edges, bald heifers. Come on, Nia. I mean, I got to read this stuff. I wouldn't have read it if you didn't write it. Nia X. Okay. The thing is, when people do super chats, I have to read it. It would have probably not got read, but she did. She put it there. No, actually, I put the right person in timeout. I know I put in timeout. I know I put in the timeout. I put the right person in there. They're doing too much. Nia, Nia, don't put me on the spot, Nia. You it's like I'm in a strip club and you're making me dance. Don't do it, Nia. Don't do it. Don't do Be nice, Nia. Okay, let's see here. Nah, Nia ain't going nowhere. Nia ain't going. She's in here. I gotta. When I gotta get a moderator that I can trust that won't. You know, listen. Nia has the right to her opinion. Let's see here. I won't read it. I'm not gonna read it. I'm not gonna read it. The thing I realize. I keep saying I'm gonna leave, but what I notice is the engagement that people like to have with real people, and I think that's good. I think that's good. It's just when I can't really do the disrespectful stuff, because it distracts from what the mission is. And I think we all. I would like to think we all adults here, especially we having this type of conversation. Let's try to be respectful. You can have an opinion, but just be respectful, because otherwise I'm thinking that perhaps you didn't have any good upbringing, and then I had to put you on timeout. you know put you in the corner over there, and you had to hold one leg up until you fall on your face. um okay, guys. um I think I've said pretty much all I want to say tonight. Got a long day tomorrow. I want to read this for Veronica. What you said is so accurate. They must bring common sense to this case and see nothing but lies from these people with. Oh no, maybe no, I didn't read the whole thing. For they, the jurors had to bring common sense, but they had to look at the evidence, but they had to also have common sense, and they had to have the ability to discern whether or not someone's telling the truth. For example, if Sonia says, and I'm not attacking the victim, but if Sonia says that she woke up and her underwear were left on the armchair and she believed that she was assaulted by R. Kelly, because of, I don't know if I don't know if I should say what she said, but I can say what she said. It was in open court. That it was a wet spot there, and she believed she was assaulted, and she, while she she was unconscious, but she woke up and he was fixing his pants allegedly. Uh, but what she said, she walked over to him afterwards and gave him a hug. She gave him a hug, and according to her, he grabbed her butt. She gave him a hug. He grabbed the butt. So jury has to go into deliberation and thinking like, this girl just felt like she was just sexually assaulted, but she walks over and give him a hug. Jurors have to listen to stuff like that, and they have to see if that's what most people would do. Would they do that, or did she do it because she was nervous? Or I can't make. I don't want to try to think why did that happen, because she didn't say that on the stand, so I can't say that now. She never explained why she gave him a hug, and I can't make I'm not a psychologist. All I know is that when she said that, it was like, oh, I just gave him a hug. But she put more emphasis. Well, he grabbed my butt, but I gave him a hug. But if you stayed on the other side of the room and questioned what the hell just happened, or what are you doing, that would have been someone else's, you know, someone else may have reacted that way. But things like that, jury had to discern whether or not something like that could have likely happened. You know, hold on a second. Jennifer Taylor asked me the question: do I believe all women? I don't believe all of anything. That makes it. I don't believe all of anything. Men and women lie. Numbers don't. So, do I believe all women? I don't believe all anything. I believe people will lie because they have ulterior motives. But no, I don't believe all of anything. If that makes any sense. And if you had any juror that go in with the mindset that no woman or no man lies, they probably shouldn't be on the jury. Oh, okay. You had me scared for a second, Jennifer. Okay, you asked me, do I believe that all the women lied? I don't know. That's not for, the good thing about that's not for me to decide. I'm not on the jury. They have to decide that. Hmm. I have questions with some of the testimony. Some of the testimony definitely made me feel uncomfortable. But I do believe if you lie, you steal. And some of these people were accused of stealing. So clearly they were lying before. I was asking because you mentioned earlier the woman provided hair wrenching, heart wrenching testimony. I never used the phrase heart wrenching testimony. I never used that phrase. I did say, and I will say again, I don't think this case should be a racketeering case, but I do understand the reason why the RICO law was in place back 80 years ago, because each situation by itself may not have been able to be prosecuted, but a collective of different victims, different jurisdictions, they like to put that something like that to prove a RICO case. In this case, I don't I don't think I don't really don't think the prosecution should prosecute this as a RICO with only one defendant. Um, that's the only thing, like him being the head of of this enterprise. I don't know. I just don't. And Griggs may disagree with me on this. I don't know if they made the case. I did go on a record and say I don't believe they made their case. But I'm not on the jury. But I would just say that I don't believe they made the case. Do I believe that something happened to some of these women? Possibly. But is it a RICO case? I don't know. Let's see here. Someone asked me, how do I feel uh, about the Mann Act being used in this trial? Same thing. Um, I think that the states should have, if they felt there was a crime broken, the states should have prosecuted, and they did. They prosecuted R. Kelly in Chicago, and he was acquitted. The state did what they had to do. They prosecuted him, and I think the documentary "Surviving R. Kelly" set this in motion. I haven't even watched the full documentary. I saw some part. I think I saw one, but I haven't watched a full documentary. Um, so yeah. Hey, Veronica, you got a lot of comments there. I see. I see. Hit that cash app, Veronica. Oh my goodness. Okay. Jack Johnson. Uh, yeah, Jack Johnson. Chuck Berry, and a few others who were prosecuted under the Mann Act. Yeah, it was a Jim Crow law. There was some embellishment on in the documentary. You know, I listened to an interview Sparkle did, and she said that some of the stuff that was in the documentary wasn't factual. Um, so yeah, I mean, they had to, Dreamhampton and the whole production had to get, I mean, with the music, the low lighting, the, let me show you something. I'm gonna do this real quick. I'm gonna do this real quick. Do this real quick. I want to tell you guys a story. I can't. I can't have my identity revealed, but these things happen to me. Guess what? That brought people into more. They were more into watching this documentary because you had people behind, in dark rooms and music, and like for example, I saw something where they were at a hotel. I got to look at the documentary. I might, look at it after the trial's over with. I was there when Veronica. I was at that press conference in Chicago when Kim Fox had uh, made the request. I was at that press conference. Come on, don't come on, come on, come on! Don't do that! Don't do that! Don't do that! Sean. The only sad thing about this case, the poor man served 2 years in prison and not even found guilty. Well, newsflash, there are a lot of people that are sitting as detainees in jails around the country. For example, Rikers Island in New York City. Uh, you had a young man who sat in jail for years for allegedly stealing a a backpack, and was innocent. And he later killed himself. And I know you know who I'm talking about. He later killed himself. So yeah, uh, that's the criminal justice system. They want to hold people until they can find out whether or not they are a threat to society. That's oh, absolutely, Alexander Williams. Yes, Khalif Browder. That's correct. Nia X. That's right. Yeah, that was pretty sad. But yeah, Rikers Island. They're trying to close it down. Then you just recently had the correctional officers in New York who decided they wanted to walk out. So they had to the NYPD had to take up the slack of the officers, the correctional officers who decided they didn't want to come to work. Some hadn't been to work; they've been on sick leave for 2 years. You're on sick leave for 2 years, but get caught in the club. Okay. All right. Whatever happened to Brother Cornell X? That's another question, another day. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. I appreciate you. We broke records tonight. We broke records tonight. All right. I'm going to leave the stream up for a little while. Appreciate you. Bye.